Let's do your part. Someone say.
Ocean.
What'd you say?
Ocean.
Ocean. Almost drowned in the ocean a number of times. I was one time I was surfing in Florida at the shark bite capital of the world. Fun fact, New Smyrna Beach. And I paddled out, and then I started getting pulled out towards the jetties. And then I was like, oh fuck, I got to start paddling against the current. So I started doing that, and it took me even further out. And then on the other side of the jetties, just to open ocean, and. I'm in open ocean, panicking, and I could see everybody, like there was a whole beach happening. Like it was a packed beach. People are surfing, people are on the beach, and no one seems to be seeing me because you do that thing where you're like panic waving, where you're like, I think I have this under control, but also like, notice this, like, I'm going away now, like I was very scared, and I was like, I was losing ground on the surfboard. So I go, I know what I'll do. I'll jump off the board and swim because I'm a strong swimmer, and I'll fucking get it. And when I was swimming, I remember swimming as hard as I could, and I wasn't gaining or losing ground. I was just getting tired, and then I started fully panicking. That was the part where I'm like, I'm gonna die. Like I was thinking about how I would survive on the surfboard if night fell. You know what I mean? And then I eventually, I figured it out. The backstroke, that's what you got to do, because the backstroke, you conserve energy. I was a lifeguard, pretty cool. Not at a beach, at a water park. I was very good. I lost like 3 kids that summer, but they were swimming in jeans and tube socks. What are you gonna do? But I was swimming backwards, and I got to the other side of the jetties, the part that was like on the other side of open oceans, and I'm not lying, a Chinese fisherman saw me and like put his pole down and I'm getting like smashed into the rocks, just when you're like, you're happy to not be drowning, and then you're slamming into the rocks, and my board was stuck and getting like dinged up, and I had the leash that was, wrapped around a thing, and I was trying to get it up, and the man yelled something at me in Chinese, which I roughly translated to fucking forget the board, asshole. And then I climbed out of there, and I went back to where my friends were on the beach being like, hey, what the fuck, man? Did none of you see? And they were like, where's your board? I'm like, fuck you, dude. So that was a very traumatic moment in my life. Thank you for bringing that up. And I want to go surfing here, but it's too, I can't make it to the ocean without your homeless attacking me. I like your homeless. It's fun. I was in Venice, and a homeless skateboarder. Is he homeless if he's got a skateboard? Maybe that's a mobile home. But he I swear to God, he skateboarded up to me and did the thing where he catches it, and he was like, hey bro, you got $20? Which is... What a California fuck. The fact that all of you aren't shocked by how high that number is crazy. You gotta start at like $1, dude. $20? And I was like, no, of course I don't, And then he was like, oh, okay, just $1 then? And it was so smart, because I was like, yeah, I do. And then I'm like, oh, you motherfucker, I see what you did. You started high so you could have some negotiation. I like that. I'm like, somebody read The Art of the Deal, it was very... And that's why he's homeless. No, California, liberal. It is fun. You're homeless people, though. You guys are very interesting, because you do that thing where you're like, we feel bad. Let's let them, take over the entire sidewalks. Let's let them live there so that our quality of life could be worse. And New York, we have just as many homeless people, I'm sure, but we really spread them out. We keep them moving. Like our New York, New York homeless people, they're like a pop-up restaurant. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, look who's here this weekend. That's fun, You guys are fucking brick and mortar, You're like, we're here to stay. Come visit anytime. We're never leaving. Anyway, that's kind of fun. What else? What else you got out there? New York City Subway. Fun day to bring that up, asshole. I mean, Jesus Christ. If you didn't see it, there was a minor major terrorist attack this morning. That's fun. That's like saying 9/11 on 9/11. That's pretty fun. Here's the thing, man. The subway is always crazy. And since the pandemic, it's had such an uptick of crazy people. And I don't know, man. Like today, that thing was brutal. I don't know if you guys saw it. They threw fucking tear gas in there. And then the guy... Here's my favorite part about this, because this guy was like, I'm going to kill a bunch of people, which is like, what a fun way to spend a Tuesday, you know? But he goes in there. If you don't laugh, fuck you, all right? What am I... I'm trying to make something out of this. And the fact that any of you were not like, let's give him the benefit of the doubt no matter what he says, because obviously this is just happening in real time. I like that the gun jammed, which is so fun because he had a whole plan. He's like, I have fucking tear gas, I have a gas mask prepared, and then apparently he was like coughing, so like he didn't even put the gas mask on right. He planned parts of it so much. He had fireworks with him. Like I don't know if he was doing a big finale at the end. But he put the mask on, and then the gun fired, and he just was like, and just was shooting people's knees, you know. Everybody survived, which is great. Nobody, it looks like, is gonna die, which is very fun. And, you know, sometimes you need that, though. You need a good old-fashioned, you know, attack on a city to really kind of wake you up a little bit. Because people are too confident in cities. They just walk around with their phones out, ready for anything. I had a dude on the subway the other day who fucking just ripped his shirt off and was just, like, ape-hitting himself. Just Mark Wahlberg in Fear. And I swear to God, he goes, this is not, I'm not making this up. He looked at me, he goes, if you fucking say anything to me, I will light your fucking tongue on fire. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, just thinking, I was like, my tongue's wet, so that's like a lot of fire. Like, I was so impressed at the originality of the mental illness that he had. But we should do something. All right, let's say, I mean, literally anything else. What'd you say? Cereal, Batman, and what would you say? Someone's been saying Jell-O for 36 minutes, and there's nothing more fun than ignoring someone who's constantly trying to be like, Jell-O, please, Jell-O! So I'm not going to do Jell-O. What'd you say, Bat? Someone said, what did you say, Bat? Diamond District? Okay, you know Jews. Do they have a Diamond District here? Yeah? Okay, people have, you're like, I have no idea. In New York City, there's like a famous, like, it's called the Diamond District right outside of Times Square, and that's where all the Jews sell you jewelry. I mean, and I'm saying that, and you guys are like, oh, like, why are you saying like a Jewish every day? Literally, it's just all, it's like Herschel and Sons, you know, like diamonds. It's crazy. You can't walk down there, then they run up to you, they're like, are you Jewish? So they look at me profile, they're like, never mind, you know, whatever, and they run away. That devolved into racism very fast, very fast. Cut that out of this. What else? What else? Someone said something else over here too, and I don't. Cereal. Thanks, Joel. Certain cereals, man. I don't know. I never got into like the cookies, like cookies in your cereal type of shit. That was always weird to me. I always Cinnamon Toast Crunch, obviously without question, is the best cereal. And if you say anything else, you're just a fucking idiot. But it's the best. It's got everything. It's got the sugary. It's just sugar. But it is weird. People, like, they try to sell you, you know, there was like the Lucky Charms, all that other stuff with growing up. Now they make, I saw like the oatmeal cream pie, you know, like the actual snack. I said track, like I'm fucking having a they make those in cereals now, and it's awful. I've also seen chocolate Eggo waffle cereal. They're doing too much with cereals. I think we need like 8 cereals, that's it. Do 2 kids, one for adults, one with fiber to make old people shit, and then just like a fun random one where you're like, hey, bet you didn't see this Sprite cereal, you know? You're like, why? And you're like, because someone will buy it, obviously. And I feel that way about candy too. I met a guy the other day, his favorite candy was Twix. Favorite. Isn't that weird? Have you ever met anybody whose favorite candy is Twix? That's a candy where you're like, I guess, you know what I mean? Like if you... I don't even know what the benefit. Why would someone be like, Twix is my favorite? Because you got 2 of them, I guess? Like that's what Kit Kat's for, man. We don't need that. Have you ever eaten 2 full Twix? By the end of it, you're like, that was too many Twix. Like, you know what I mean? It's too like chocolate after the end of it. And people will be like, well, then if you don't want 2 Twix, why don't you just share the other one? And I'm like, well, they raised me on a different set of standards. Their whole commercials growing up were Twix, 2 for me, none for you. They were very insistent that I did not share. Which is why I like Snickers. Snickers is great. It's got a little bit of everything in there. Some people like, my dad's favorite candy's 3 Musketeers. It's just like Snickers Light. Fuck off. Why would you? All right, let me do one more thing here. This has been fun. Mushrooms, and what did you say? Vampires. That's a real front hat facing suggestion right there. I love mushrooms. I hate like edible mushrooms. I like psychedelic mushrooms. That's very fun. Yeah, those are always a good time. I've talked at length about that. The most recent time I did mushrooms, I was staying in somebody's house who wasn't like I was like apartment sitting, and I don't know if you've ever stayed in somebody else. And his house was like very big. I don't know if you've ever stayed in somebody's house and then done psychedelic mushrooms. The whole time I live in a tiny apartment in New York City. I could see every wall from where I'm standing. It's very weird to me where people have big houses. I just kept going, is there someone in the house in another room? All of you that own houses or big apartments, how do you not think there's somebody in the house at all times in another room, in another closet, being like, wait till he sleeps. Then I shall do my bidding, whatever it is. And I just had to keep checking every closet and door. Then I went to bed, the dishwasher sound went off. It sounded like someone was kicking in the door. And then I forgave my mom for some shit. So that's mushrooms. All right, thank you very much.